Welcome, everybody. This is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today is November 12th, and I am pre-recording this video. I know I've mentioned to you guys in my past lives that I will be out visiting my family for a couple of weeks, and that means that there will be no lives on, let me see, I think it's Tuesday 29 and December 6th. Those days I will still be there. So my goal is to create a couple of videos that I can upload on those days, so you can still at least watch a video. And I sure hope that, I'm able to log in those days and kind of chat with you. I am not sure if that's going to be possible. It kind of will depend on the itinerary of my visit, which is always crazy when I'm visiting family. It's my days are very, very full. So I may try to do that. If it's possible, I will do. If not, and if you have any questions for any video, just leave them in the comments below, and I will answer those as soon as I can. And if you don't know, I am a independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and if you would like a catalog or you want more information about Stampin' Up and their products, please send me an email to maria@mariascraftingcorner.com or visit my website, mariascraftingcorner.com, and look for the contact tab, and you can send me an email there. And if you're there while you're there, go ahead and visit my rewards page, because you can get free product for only your $50 before shipping and taxes. I always tend to say that wrong, and so I have to do it slowly. But I think it's a wonderful opportunity to just earn some extra free product. Okay, now let me remove this because I know it usually gives us some grief. Let me see, any other announcement? Yes, hopefully I will be receiving my paper pumpkin kit during this week, and I'll be able to make those alternatives. If I receive it too late, I don't think I will be able to just do those alternatives for, I think it will be 2 videos. I will say something, maybe make a note there in YouTube and leave it as a placeholder so you guys know if I'll be able to do them or not. Let's move to the crafting table. Okay, so very, very excited. I found a box, you can guess it, in Pinterest. I know it happens. I don't even say sorry anymore. I think that it is important for me to recognize the people that made it. Let me look it up because for some reason I keep forgetting her name. Let's see if I find it. And it is from a website called Verity Cards. I have not really visited that one. The box itself is not complicated to make, but I think it's a wonderful option for giving gifts, especially now that Christmas is coming. So super cute. You can make things a little bigger, you can make them smaller if you're good with it. I'll show you here in a minute how we can do that, but all in all, super easy to make, wonderful for Christmas or for just to give any gifts. As always, I will have all those measurements in my website, and the link will be down below for you guys to go and get those. And if you hear a dog, my dog is outside and he's whining, so Okay, let's start with this. What are we going to need? We are going to need a big piece, and this is Night of Navy, and it is 10 by 10, and 2 pieces of cardstock, and this is 6 by 9. Okay, and we're going to start with this piece right now and scoring. Kind of what I was telling you guys, that you can make this box. This will be the how would you call it? The part of the box, the body of the box. And you can make this bigger by decreasing the amount of inches in here. As is, I'm just going to keep it kind of smallish, not smallish, but as it is, I'm just going to go ahead and do the one I have already, and we're going to score at 3. We're going to move and score at 3 again. So this is the, how would you call it, the body of the box. Move again and score at 3. Oops. And move again and score at 3, right? Boxes have the same basic concept. This is giving us a 4x4 box, okay? Again, if you score at 2 and at 2 and at 2, you will get a much bigger box. I would say it was maybe a 5 or 6 inch box. I'm not sure, but I'm just going to keep up with this one. Now, the next step we're going to do is we're going to align it again at 3, and we are going to cut from the top to the first score line there. And we are going to rotate again and align at 3 and cut from the top to that score line. And once again, rotate, align at 3, cut, and one more. Rotate, align at 3 inches, and cut. That gives us 4 different cuts, which is how we're going to create those flaps to create the box. And we are going to cut now this in half, just so we create so it's better done. Now, if you know me, you guys know that I have said many times that I am really not very good with the scissors, and I have not been lying about that. So I'm just going to use my trimmer to cut, and we are going to cut on this side of the card. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, look for the score line that has the piece of cardstock still attached to it, not the one that has already been cut. And that is, and I'll show you here in a minute, we're going to cut the next one. So I'm just aligning these, the top there to my cut in here, to my other little score line there, and we're going to cut. And this is why, if we cut the other way around, then this flop will be on top. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me when I say it, but sometimes it doesn't make sense that easy. So we're going to align again this score line, so the score line that still has the piece of cardstock attached. We're going to close this, align as best as we can, and cut, and we just have one more, right? Okay, let's get in there. Okay, let me throw these away. I really don't use a lot of triangles for some reason, so I'm just going to throw them away. And now we're going to go ahead, put these out for a minute, and then we're going to bring these 2 other pieces. And this is just as simple. We're going to align at 3 and score. Sorry about the dog. And this one too, align at 3 and score. Okay. I don't think we're going to need the trimmer anymore, because same as usual, I have most of my pieces already cut, and it just makes it a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and bring the card base here. I'm moving all that out of there, and we're just going to grab our bone folder and go ahead and fold and get those creases well done. Another one here, right? We'll go ahead. This is very simple to make. It does not mean that it takes some time, right, to get all these creases done and well fold and all that good stuff. Okay, and one last one. Phew, right? Okay, managed. I'm going to put that aside for a minute, and we are going to bring again the other piece, 2 pieces, and we're going to make those folds. Crease those folds very well. Okay, I am going to start decorating the folds just because it's simpler. I am using for this card the Fitting Florets suite, guys. It's going to be available in December. I always forget. I'm such a bad Stampin' Up demonstrator, but it's going to be available and it's absolutely beautiful. You don't want to miss it. It has these beautiful rhombus frame florets, or you want to call it. I don't know how to call them. I'm sorry about that. But I really love these to just create some interest in the cards. One of these in a little stamp, and you have a card, a beautiful card altogether. The paper is to die for, and I have it here. I don't want to show it to you or make it like a long show of the paper, but I really want to like just show you super quick. Isn't this just glorious? I think it is beautiful, beautiful. I love these colors. I just love it all. I have to be honest. The whole suite is just precious. So don't hesitate to get it. Do let me know if you want or interested in it, and I will absolutely get it for you. Again, Maria at mariascraftingcorner.com. Let's move this out of the way for 1 minute, and we are going to decorate these 2 pieces. So one of these flaps will go like this. So like this will be the bottom, and the other one will attach like so, and will be the top. Let's go ahead and bring the pieces I already have cut up. I decided to use the blues. I think it's just so beautiful. And I decided we're going to do this one on both visible pieces. So this one's going to go there, and this one's going to go here. So the top. This beautiful one is going to go in the bottom, and I have one last one that's going to go in this bottom, like so. So let's go ahead and start with this one, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Part of the reason, well, I have to say, I really like this paper. But when you're making a card like this, you have to be mindful to not create or to not choose paper that is so busy that it's kind of clashy, right? There's people that love things that clash, and that's fine with me. I'm doing this the wrong way, sorry. But just be mindful of that if you want the end result to be a little bit more pleasing to the eye. This is just a 1/8 smaller, and let's start with those measurements. When we, man, that was a lousy, look at that. Yeah, I'm going to do this again because that was lousy. Like, okay, since nobody's going to be seeing these, I'm going to turn this around because it happens, and we're going to put a little bit extra in here where there were messes, and we are going to align again. Let me rephrase this. We're going to align and center now because we didn't do that last time, and get this going. I know, I was like, what in the name of the world was that? Okay, this is just 1/8 smaller, and sometimes 8s are a little harder to put in perfectly. This piece, we remember this is 9, right? 9 by 6. So we score at 3, which means this is a 6 by 6 square. This is then a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And we're going to go ahead and attach this to our card base. I am actually, let me do this differently. I'm going to do this like this. And this is why. I care a whole lot less about how this is going to be aligned here as I am more concerned that it looks good on this edge, right? So we're going to go ahead and align there at the, looking for the 8th, making sure it's fairly centered, and that works very, very beautifully. Now let's go ahead with the bottom. This paper does not really have a direction, but do be mindful if the paper does have a direction, right? Because it will definitely affect how it's done. And I almost made a mistake, guys. It's a miracle of God that I remembered. This card needs to be, it needs a little bit of ribbon to be attached. I am using this ribbon, and this ribbon is from the Gnomes Suite, the Kindest Gnome Suite. I don't remember how it's called. Let me see if it has a name. It's here. It's called Double Stitch Ribbon. And it's in that beautiful balmy blue, which belongs to also in the in this suite. But this needs a ribbon. So in the back side, this is the bottom side, not back side, let's call it that way. The bottom side, we are going to put a little piece of this, and I am actually going to bring our tear and tape, and I'm going to put 2 pieces. The tear and tape is 1/4 inch if I am not mistaken, and I think that is maybe 1/2 inch. So just, it's perfectly well glued or adhere, and it doesn't, you know, move through. This is about, I want to say, yeah, this is like about 12-13 inches. I just leave myself a lot of grace because you guys know that I really don't know how to make bows, and so I need more ribbon to make a relatively decent bow. If that's not your case, you can leave less, right? Of course. And now we're going to attach this, and I am just doing the best I can to look at that center. It's not perfectly centered, but I don't think that matters a whole lot. Now we're going to attach these. I'm so glad I remembered that. I was saying, if you're going to have a pattern paper that has a direction, do be mindful of how you want it, right? If you wanted these to be the, and it'll make more sense once the card is done, and I'll explain it, or the box is done. But if you wanted to, these be the direction or that be the direction. In this case, we don't have a problem because this does not have any direction. Okay, let's go ahead and do this again, trying to align this the best we can. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Actually, I'm moving these pieces so I pay more attention to this edge, just because this is the edge that people are going to really see compared to the other edge, right? This one is less noticeable. So this is the bottom, and let's work with the top. This will be the top. So when we put this, you will be able to see both pattern papers. It can be different. I made one that was different, if I am not mistaken. So it really does not matter much, but it's also something to take into account if that's something that you're interested in. And I don't know if you notice, I am putting Stampin' Seal Plus all the way on these edges, but just a tiny bit in here, because that way I have a space for my finger to grab my paper, and I can make this, it's just easier for me. When I was beginning to do the videos and crafting, and well, not crafting, to do the videos and a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I realized how often my finger just got cut in that, obviously, in that the Stampin' Seal Plus or whatever adhesive I was using, and then it hit me that I was just making it a little bit more complicated than I needed. Now, before we do this piece, we are actually going to do the same thing. We are going to attach our little piece of ribbon in here again. And I'd rather use this. I have always the feeling that the Stampin' Seal Plus, it's strong, but I don't know why. I just trust the tan tape a whole lot more. Don't ask me why. So as you can tell, I put a little piece first, and then I put the other piece of tan tape a little bit on top of it, and I just think that works really well. Okay, and that is our other piece. Now we are doing this on this side, which is the top, because we're going to tie it, and I'll show you the mistake I make in one of the cards. These cardstock is sturdier, obviously, than the designer series paper, so we need this to give it a good foundation for the ribbon when you're doing or tying the bows. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to focus on this edge a whole lot more than I do on the other side, just because people will pay more attention to this than this side. Okay, so now we are going to decorate, I'm off camera, these areas, and yes, they all will need, oh, I forgot this one. Okay, so I chose this paper for a reason, because although it's busy, when you put this one with this, it does not, let me see, like that, like I feel they match really well, and they do work well together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's move this back out. Let's get this in here. This paper also does not have a really it does not have a direction, so nothing to be very mindful on this end. My Stampin' Seal Plus is being rebellious. We're going to go ahead and attach these. Well, center and attach, I guess, is the right way to say it. These are all 1/8 smallers, and I don't know if you noticed, but that one was headed to the same problem. There you go. Phew. This is going to go, this is the top of the box. Okay, this is the top of the box. This is the front of the box. Oh, okay. This is the top of the box, and this is the front of this panel, and then this will be the back of this panel. Oh my goodness in heavens. Sometimes talking, not good. And I'm going to do the same thing I've done in the last couple of times, and it is aligning, using this edge to center a whole lot more than the other edge. Okay, now we have our box. We have some more pieces, and they are exactly the same. Oops. Well, let's focus on this one. I am using, wrong one. I am using this one. This is the top, and I know because because of the color, of course, in the pattern paper, but also because of where my ribbon is located. And I am using the same soft succulent and this pattern paper, which I think it's much simpler than some of the other ones. Well, this one will be too much. So let's go ahead and attach this. I do have to say, guys, I absolutely love this pattern paper. It's right there with my favorite, but I like very much the Stampin' Up creates options for you within the same paper designer series paper packet that it gives you like a very ornated kind of paper, and then it gives you on some of the other options much simpler or less ornated, and that helps with the creation of, or with the combination of papers, right? And this piece is 3 by, well, this area is 3 by 6. This will be 2 7/8 by 5 7/8, and the one in the middle is just a eighth smaller, so 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And this is how this is going to look. Now we're not decorating this piece because this is going to be aligned with this and glued together. So we are going to decorate this piece. Again, I know, but be mindful. I know because of the paper I'm using that this is how I want it, but also my ribbon shows me that this is the back, right? And I know this color is completely different, so I am of course very aware of that, but I just want to say it out loud. Now I chose here blue, balmy blue, because this one has balmy blue, and so I just think it would look okay. And this paper also has balmy blue, so let's go ahead and adhere these. Telling you, it's a rebellious paper today. So a lot of cuts, but they are, Maria, again, I was saying it's a lot of pieces, but they are very much the same pieces. So it's not too tedious to cut. You can just cut several in a row, which just makes it simpler. And so let's go ahead and see if I don't miss or mess up this one. I'm not sure what's going on with me today. I guess maybe I need an adjustment on my glasses. That could be. And this is again just an eighth smaller. And there we go. So this card, now we're going to attach the back or the bottom with the top. And to do this, yes, I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal Plus in here all the way. Whoops. And I'm just going to remove that because it will cause mayhem. And align these again as best as we can, almost all the way to the score line, but not in the score line because then it won't allow movement. And making sure this is all well aligned, and there we go. And so this is how this is the first part of our card. We'll decorate it last. The front will decorate it last. So I'm going to put these on the side, and we're going to work on our, how you call this? The box itself. Yep. Do you guys have a lot of fun with me? Please tell me you do. Okay, I have already cut down a piece of 4x4 in this DSP that I am going to attach in here. And we are going, I'm not sure why it's so rebellious today. Seems like my Stampin' Seal Plus is struggling today for some odd reason. Something is not going well. Oh, it kind of got stuck. That's what it seems. Back again to review. I'm not going to fix this while we're doing this. It will take a little bit longer. So off with that and bring on the tape. I know that makes the video a little longer, but we will survive. Okay, this is 4x4, so it fits exactly in that in that square, and that's the bottom. We are going to be able to see all the card, because what's happening is this is going to go in here, so we'll be able to see the card, which means we need to decorate it. Of course, Maria likes decorating. We all know that. And I chose for the inside of the card this paper, and I think it just looks really, really cute. Now we need to, and it gets a little more complex if you want, we need to adjust to adhere this, right? And we need to do that before we actually decorate this, which means glue. I'm going to adhere these with the with the tear and tape, because there's not a whole lot to it. I would love to know where I left my oh, here it is. my beautiful take your pick, because I can't live with this tool. It's just so easy and it's so useful for so many things. So let's see. So the easiest way to do this is I'll just hold it straight and attach this, and there you go. There you go. And this is why we cut it this way. You actually sort of see it. It's not, almost not very visible because of the color, but that way we don't have a big piece of paper here or cardstock, so two pieces of cardstock against each other. And now we are going to adhere this piece. This measures 4 by 3, so this is just an 1/8 smaller. We are not going to create how do you call this? We're not going to create layers in this one. Chalking, I know, but it's just much easier this way. And you can barely see. I'm going to move this like this. So we're creating just a tiny bit of a layer with the same cardstock, and that looks beautiful on its own. So going to do the exact same thing. We're going to glue this. We're going to do that 4 times. Yes, again, it's a little time consuming. I really think it's a beautiful a beautiful gift box that you can to give to somebody very special, right? Truth be told, it takes a little bit to cut this. And you see, guys, what I did? I put it in the wrong side, because why not? Well, we'll be using that, but what that means is we're going to use glue in here, which works just as fine. The reason I don't like glue often is A, I'm messy with it, but most importantly, it gets it does not dry right away, and that drives me insane. See, that drives me insane. Now, because that already has some tear and tape, I keep thinking of Stampin' Seal Plus because that's what I always use, and I just have to stop and think. I am just going to add a tiny bit on the other side, and this is the other side, and we're going to go ahead and glue this. We're going to have to be a little bit more mindful because it has that tear and tape, but that works very well. And we're going to be careful this time as to where we put our glue or our tear and tape. Because you will see the inside of the card. I felt that it needed to be decorated, especially because it has these flaps and you will be able to see those flaps, but you don't have to, right? In the end, that's me. You guys already know me. You guys know that I absolutely love all these decorations. I need to move these out of the way. Actually, I'll need to move these inside, just kidding. And we'll go ahead and glue this. Or adhere this. You can't see what I'm going to be doing next, but it's going to be, I have my other glue here. Let's use this one. Definitely much faster. You won't see, but all I'm doing is, let's see if you can tell. That's a little bit okay. I am just positioning these, kind of using the front edge to put it. Really, if it's all the way to the bottom and it doesn't have a layer, nobody's going to notice, but the front one or the top one, you will be able to notice. And now all we're going to do is do some glue here. And yes, we'll have to use glue, just much easier. And we're going to do the same thing. I find that this is a super good option for papers that are older and you just want to get rid of, not get rid of them, but you want to use them because of the amount of paper this thing has. So again, my suggestion to you is just go all the way to the bottom and glue. And then you know that it'll be glued well. And here's a little box. And now we're going to decorate the front of the box, and we're going to use this much more mellow color because we already have flowers right on the other side, and so I think it just needs to mellow down a little bit. I'm going to use glue for this just because it's not going to be so easy to get this perfectly okay and lined up. And now in hindsight, I should have done this before I actually decorated the inside. So for you, when you make this card again, just decorate the outside first and then the inside. Since I didn't do that, here we are. Okay, let's go ahead with the next one. Most likely end up just using glue today because that way it speeds up the process. And the moving pieces or parts are already glued. So, and the last one. Let's see. There we go. Isn't this super cute? We are going to add our box here. And yes, I'm going to use for this the tear and tape. If you see that your corners are a little not glued, just go ahead and add more glue. I'm just being a little speedy on this case because I'm in video, but I would take the time to glue those corners well. Then we have our last one. And yes, I'm putting enough pieces because we want these to stay. You can, if you have hot glue, you can use that too. Oops. Okay, well, that's rebellious. So that's another option. Sometimes I don't prefer hot glue. I know that it does a better job sometimes at gluing, but I feel that it's not, I don't know, I just don't love it for some odd reason. So, especially for paper crafts. For other crafts, of course, it's much neither, or it does a better job, but for paper crafts, I feel like it just gets bulky. Okay, so I'm doing the best not to get my head there, and I did, but I am just hoping that this is, and this is not center, so I'm just removing it a tiny bit. Bottom line, I'm going to move these here so my big head is not in your camera view. And I think that'll do. Okay, that's much better. And that is our box. So now you just tie it here, and you can make a beautiful bow. You guys know that I don't do bows well, and this is your box. If you have other materials that Stampin' Up does not provide, but like if you could decorate this with like flowers, real flowers, like paper flowers, that would look very cute. I am not going to decorate. I'm going to focus on the top. So we are going to bring these, and I am going to speed the video while I color with you guys. I am bringing the soft succulent combo to color the leaves in this gorgeous stamp. My first tip to you is, when using Stampin' Up! Blends, take the lightest of the combo and try the color of both tips. I have found out fairly consistently that they have two different shades, which is super useful when you are coloring, and just kind of trying to achieve that more realistic shading and blending. My second tip to you is, when you're starting to color the image and you're using that lightest shade that you have, don't go all the way to the edge of the image. Just leave some white towards that edge. It will help you with two things. We all know that alcohol blenders tend to, or alcohol markers tend to bleed, and so if it bleeds, it would be within the line, which is super nice. And the second thing is, if it doesn't bleed, but you can keep coloring over, and at some point that will be the lightest of the colors, and you will not be able to achieve that unless you left some white on it. Try it, let me know how that works for you. It has definitely been a game changer for me when coloring and playing with stamps. And you guys know that I love my coloring. I started using for my flowers balmy blue, and then some of the other flowers are going to be Night of Navy. As you could tell, I did the same test, and hold and behold, my light balmy blue had two different shades, and I was able to use that again to my advantage when coloring these flowers. And you'll see here that in a second as well, when I started coloring with the Night of Navy, we'll know that Night of Navy is a very, very dark blue. So to help a little bit to make that distinction, I actually use the dark balmy blue to create that lightest shade. Balmy blue and Night of Navy are in the same color tone, and so it really helped create that lighter area, or make it more noticeable, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. I finally used the evening evergreen for the rest of the leaves, and I think it just turned out gorgeous. That looks really cute. Now I'm just going to bring the die, and it has a die, of course, and I am going to add it in here. And you guys know that I left it somewhere else, my little post-it tape, and I'm just going to adhere this. I've mentioned this to you guys. This is the cheapo post-it tape because I only use it for this, right? This is the only reason why I have these. So really, I don't want to invest a lot of it. It's linked down below if you guys are interested in it, and I got it in Amazon. I'm going to go and die cut this, and I'll be right back. How beautiful is that? Okay, so using the dies from the Fitting Florets, I created this die cut, which is this die. I have used this in the past. I really love it. And then using this die, which is a tiny bit smaller, I am using the white piece of it, and we're going to put it in here. And before we put this together, let's bring, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Sorry. Let's bring I have my Stamparatus. It's already ready. I am sorry that you have to get the glare, but I am using my Stamparatus because I found out that it helps with me not getting my big head on you. And the way to help us with this is putting a case here. You can put maybe one of these. Let's see. That will work as well. Bottom line, you just need some assistance to get this straight. And this was a tip that was given to me by one of my YouTube friends in one of my lives. Thank you, Susie. And we'll do that. And I'm going to use the, I think the soft succulent. It helps so much when you actually do that way. And we are going to go ahead. You guys know the reason I love my Stamparatus. It's because you can ink and re-ink and it will stay where it needs to stay. And in case you feel that you want it, you know, more, it's wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to bring a little piece of chamois and clean it. I just cut my chamois and keep them in a little box. We'll take care of that here in a little bit. And now we have a thank you with all my heart, which is a tiny bit smaller than the actual frame. And so what's going to happen is that when we bring this up here, we're going to put this in there and this in here, and then we'll have a little bit of that. Let me move this in here, of that DSP still, you can see it. And I am going to put this one right on top. I keep debating if I want it on top or maybe down below. And that will be the end of our card. So let's go ahead and glue all this. I'm taking away disaster, which always is waiting to happen. I'm going to attach this one first. And for that, we're going to use our glue dispenser that has that tiny, how do you call this, tip? And that I absolutely love for these more intricate and smaller areas, right? Absolutely, it just makes it so much easier, especially for those of us that just seem to not be able to do well with glue. And same as the Post-it tape, it's linked down below in case you're interested. Those are sold on Amazon. And if you buy it following that link, you'll help me a little bit with my Amazon, within Amazon. And I don't really make a whole lot of it, but now we're going to make these. Put that one there. We don't need the little tip for that. And this one's going to go inside. Just looks so pretty. And now we're going to bring our dimensionals and we're going to pop this up. Whoops. These are a little rebellious, but that's fine. Okay. I'm just pushing there so it stays. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. There you go. I'm going to move that out of the way because it has that glow. But that way, you guys did not get blinded by that reflection. And we are going to bring these up here in there. I'm going to completely cover the bottom of that frame. And that's our card. Doesn't that look gorgeous? The last thing I would like to use is, and I'm trying to figure out which ones do I want. I think I'm going to go with these pearls. I know I have some that are opened already. Haha, found them. Okay, because these are more on that light blue. So let's go ahead and get one in here. By the way, I think I'm going to put it in here. There you go. And that looks absolutely stunning. I cannot tell you guys how much I really like this card, this box. Same as always, I have a couple of other cards to show you. Let me grab them. I'm just closing all my glues so they don't get dry. So this is the box. Let me move a little bit. There. Okay. So it goes like this. This is the whole box. When you open, this is what you see. And you can put whatever you want in here. Super, super cute. Let me bring you the other ones. So this is a Christmas one, and I just created a cute little scene up top because this is for my niece for her Christmas gift. And when you open it, ta-da, super, super cute. I absolutely love this idea. All I did was with the same designer series paper create this stuff, the what do you call it, the tabs to get them standing, and I think that looks super, super cute. And then finally I created this simple one. This was my first one, so it was not too complicated, using one of my absolutely favorite colors, designer series papers, and I love this one. I kept thinking, this is not decorated yet, because I kept thinking I am going to do the same fitting florets idea for this, something similar. But I don't want to decide yet what, if it's like a gift box, if it's a thank you or what. And so I am going to, I'm not decorated yet for that reason, but this looks so beautiful. And here are the 3 boxes. I have another box that I'm going to be making, which is with the kindness gnomes. And these are the 3 boxes. And I think, again, this is a super simple box, and you will absolutely enjoy making it. It's simple, and this is the perfect season for boxes. Let me come back up. Okay. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this little 3D project, and I hope you make tons of boxes to for your Christmas gifts. Like I said, you can make the actual box bigger, but you'll have to make some adjustments to it. I'm gonna work on one of them and include it down below so you guys know about it, how much I can make it bigger. I think that if you get, for example, a 11 by 11 box, you will be able, I think that if you get an 11 by 11 piece of cardstock, you would be able to score same at the same 3, but the box base will be 5 inches. So that's a decent box for a lot of gifts. Okay. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. You know how much it helps us here in YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you like the general content of the channel. And please, please, please share the video so it reaches to other people. And I managed to get my 1,000 people. I don't know how it's so hard for me, but with your help, we're going to get there. Guys, I wish you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.